Ready? Okay. Hi, Bridget. What's bringing you in today?
Well, my boyfriend really pushed me to come here. I'm not sure if I really need to be here, but what's going on is that he's been really distant lately.
Mm-hmm.
We've been together for like 2 years, and we live together.
Mm-hmm.
But he is, just being very distant. And then when I tried to talk to him about it, he just kind of left the room and wouldn't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then a text message came in on his phone, and I saw it, and it was from this girl who I know he's friends with her. She's from work, and that they text sometimes like about movies and stuff, but this was really flirty and kind of like sexually suggestive, and it made me really uncomfortable. And when I talked to him, he just said that I was causing drama, and that like nothing's going on. This is my issue, not his. And that he's not going to talk to. He doesn't know what he has to do to convince me, and he's just not even gonna try anymore. I need to go talk to someone else about it.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that so your boyfriend, your partner, has been kind of distant for a while, and then you found a text message on their phone from another woman that you know, and it was a little bit more flirtatious than you're comfortable with, and they're just kind of pushing it away and saying that you're the one that needs to come to counseling to kind of resolve how you're feeling.
Yeah, he just really feels like I'm being a nag, about it, and that nothing's wrong.
So can you tell me a little bit more about how you're feeling? I kind of understand how he feels about it. You mentioned you're a little bit uncomfortable. He's been calling you names, it sounds like. How are you feeling in the relationship right now?
I just feel kind of lost.
Yeah.
Because he won't talk to me about it, but there's obviously something different. I mean, whether he's cheating on me or not, he's obviously like more distant. He doesn't really seem to be enjoying time with me.
Okay. So it sounds like that feeling of being lost is almost coming from a feeling of confusion. You just don't know where he's at right now. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely imagine how that would be incredibly confusing, like almost in this limbo state.
I just don't know what else to do.
Sure. And when did you notice this shift? How long has the distance been kind of
It's been since he got this promotion at work, so like he keeps blaming it just on like, hey, I'm busy, I have more responsibilities, and he's been working late. But now I'm like wondering, is he really working late? Because like the person he was texting with is like his administrative assistant, and I mean, it didn't seem like it was a problem before. They were kind of friends, which I felt a little weird about, but I was like, maybe that's just my issue. But now with the text messages, I feel like there's either something going on, or it's to an inappropriate level of flirting. I don't know.
Yeah, I can imagine how that would make you feel really uncomfortable. Another thing that I'm wondering is the fact that it seems like you have kind of brought this to his attention, because you addressed him about the text messages, and that's kind of what led to being here. Has there been any patterns in the past where he has kind of put it on you to kind of resolve this, to resolve what you're feeling, so you can resolve the conflict between each other?
I feel like we had pretty good communication, I mean, we worked through it and stuff, and he's not really a feelings kind of guy, but like, we talked a lot about like, just like validating my feelings and, listening, and he was doing really good at that. It just seems like it changed, I mean, there's been times where I'm like anxious about stuff, and he kind of puts that on me, but it had been helpful because he was kind of just like, like, you're creating this anxiety, in your head, like, and is it helpful? And he could kind of like would make me reflect on, like, okay, like, you know, like with my mom and my sister, kind of like, you know, what can I change about this situation? I can change my reaction, not what they do, you know. So, I mean, he was a little rough about that at first, but like it really ended up helping, and then he like kind of worked on validating more.
Gotcha. So it sounds like you kind of appreciate the tough love that he'll give you, but sometimes he doesn't see the other side. He may not validate your feelings. And has he worked on that? Has that improved at all?
He definitely worked on that. It's just like these past 4 months, he just doesn't want to talk about anything, and he makes me feel like I'm crazy. He's like just saying like I'm nagging him, like there's nothing wrong, but there's obviously something wrong. He just doesn't even seem to enjoy my company anymore.
Yeah, I can imagine that feeling really sad, almost like you've kind of lost a part of your partner in a way.
Yeah. I feel like we're just like not a team anymore, you know. And I still really love him, you know. I just kind of want it back the way it was, but I don't know how to get there.
So, if you could imagine, so how can you see this going? What are your options right now, do you think?
You know, I mean, I could just call it quits, but I'm not ready to do that. You know, I mean, what I really want to do is for us to be able to talk about it. He has made it clear that that's just not an option, you know, so I think I don't know what else to do. I feel like for our relationship to be okay, we need to talk.
Yeah, of course. And I'm wondering how far we can get with just you here. Would your partner, do you think, be interested in coming to maybe setting up couples counseling so you could work on this together?
I mean, I think he'll be resistant to it. It's worth a try. I think he really thought, like, I'd come here today and you just be like, oh, stop bothering him. Like, this is all in your head. I don't think he's going to think he has a problem. But, you know, maybe we could try to get him in here just to talk about it. Couples counseling might throw him off, saying couples counseling, but we might be able to try to just get him to come in.
Yeah, it would make sense, I think, for both of you to talk about this, because if it's very one-sided, I don't know how much I can help with that communication aspect. You know?
And that's kind of how I felt like about like, why am I coming here? Because like what we really need to do is talk, and you're telling me to go solve it, you know.
Yeah, it's just this constant push away.
I think it's kind of like the same as he was doing with my mom and my sister, you know, but that was more helpful, and this is more like he wants me to change my reaction to it, but I don't think my reaction is inappropriate.
From what you told me, if you know, he's been distant, he's been flirtatious with someone, he's staying late at work, and you're not really sure what's going on, it would make sense to me that you're feeling a little bit nervous or apprehensive right now. Yeah, and I have to say, I'm a little bit worried about you too. If your partner is continuing to do this, how it's gonna affect you and in that way. Have you seen how has it affected the rest of different aspects of your life?
I'm just feeling very insecure and unconfident, you know. And that's just, I think that's reflected, you know, in my work and my other relationships, just that I'm just feeling like not good about myself.
Can you tell me a little bit more about how did you feel when you guys kind of were doing really well and he was kind of helping you get through those anxious parts of your life? Like how did you feel then?
I felt like empowered, you know, like oh, I can do this. I've got this. I mean, like stuff comes up, but I can figure it out. And now I feel kind of lost and kind of like incompetent.
Incompetent? Can you tell me a little bit more about where does that feeling of incompetence come from?
I don't know. I just keep second guessing myself so much that I never feel sure of anything that I'm doing. Because like, and I feel like it kind of comes out of that he's saying, you know, that I'm like making a big deal out of nothing. So then I'm like, okay, am I doing that? Am I doing that in other places? You know, I just keep second guessing myself.
It sounded like a little bit before you were pretty certain.
Good job.
Good job. So really good use of minimal encouragers. You let her have her conversation, and then you had really good paraphrasing at the very beginning, just to let her know what you heard. You kind of collected all the information, and I think done more in a way to say, if I've got something wrong, let me know. And so she accepted all of it, so that was good. Appropriate use of both open and closed-ended questions. Good reflection of feeling, where you said your feelings are being lost. Your feeling of being lost has almost turned into a feeling of confusion. Is that right? And that's important because a lot of folks are saying, gosh, you really seem confused, and then they're moving on, and it's like, that's not a reflection. So you were very clear to reflect that, just to see if that's what she was actually feeling. So really good there. Really good reflection of content to direct questioning. It also seems like you brought this to his attention. He talked to you about the text messages, and then he's put it all on you, and so it was where you were taking a bunch of little information from the context. Good interpreting, so you appreciate the tough love he gives you, but he also invalidates your feelings, which was really insightful. I
thought that was really good.
I mean, there's points where it's good and there's points where it's bad, and right now this is one of those bad moments. So that was really nice. Good information giving about adding the partner for couples work, and you didn't fall on the sword. Like she was like, I don't know if I want to do it. You're like, okay, we'll figure it out. And then feelings of immediacy, where you said, I'm a little bit worried about you if your partner is going to continue to do this. So all of that was dead on. There were 3 things I didn't see. I didn't see a big summarization at the end, obviously. Confrontation, where it was kind of like, I know you're here, and he's saying you have to be here, but there's part of you that says you don't, and so help me understand.
I was about to do that until we got the time, because she mentioned that she was like, well, I'm feeling a little bit incompetent, but first she was like, okay, I think I have reason
I've
to
got
be.
this. Yes,
Yeah.
that would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
So remember that for your final, or for your paper. That's definitely. The other thing, I didn't see a direct self-disclosure, where you were like, if I was in that situation, I think I would feel this, or given your set of circumstances, I think it's, I would feel this, or whatever it is. So, so those are the only 3 I did not see. So I think it'd be really easy if you want. So you go in and this is an example, but you just go in and you use all the skills and timestamp them for me where you think you used them, and then down at the bottom, just talk to me about what you didn't. So exactly what you just said, where you were like, oh, I was going to do this and this and this, and just say that's what you would do there.
Okay. And then as far as, do I only mark at one point where I use each skill, or do I do it?
Just once. No. Yeah, just once. Just to show me that you did use them and that it was in there or whatever. And then for your final, this is the big guy because it's worth 25 points when you look at all the other assignments this semester. So make sure that you hit every one of these prompts as you're going through to do them, and do like subheadings so that I know, like, I learned about myself or whatever it is. So this is like one section, next section, and so go through and highlight those for me so I can find them. And then also make sure to tie your text into this so that you're sure to get the points for that. Okay.
Do you have like an amount of citations that you want for the text, or does it just?
No, just make sure you're tying the material. So if it's asking you really specific, where it's like, I think probably things like if they talked about the culture or professional, like what are areas of professional growth that you need or whatever, think about what they've said about some of that. How did you feel? Did you meet your clients' expectations? They talk some about performance and stuff in there, so just take a look at some of that and see what seems to make sense to you. But as long as you're tying the ideas, we don't just want it to be like, here's what I think the whole semester. Like, I want to see that you're tying it back into the material that we've learned directly. And I think as long as you kind of go through and give me all this, I don't see any reason why you shouldn't get full credit on that.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Good meeting you.
Yeah.